Hey, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Dave. I'm Dave. That's Batty, and this is coffee. Highlight of my day. All right. This is Fellowship of the Ring. All right. All plays into this video. It's fine. All right. All right. There was a faint stir in the leaves, and a cock crowed far away. The cold hour before dawn was passing. The figure by the door moved. In the dark, without moon or stars, a drawn blade gleamed, as if a chill light had been unsheathed. There was a blow, soft but heavy, and the door shuddered. "Open, in the name of Mordor," said a voice thin and menacing. At a second blow, that door yielded and fell back with timbers burst and lock broken. The black figures passed swiftly in. At that moment, among the trees nearby, a horn rang out. It rent the night like fire on a hilltop. Awake, fear, fire, foes, awake. Fatty Bulger had not been idle. As soon as he saw the dark shades creep from the garden, he knew that he must run for it or perish. And run he did, out of the back door, through the garden, and over the fields. When he reached the nearest house, more than a mile away, he collapsed on the doorstep. "No, no, no," he was crying. "No, not me. I haven't got it." It was some time before anyone could make out what he was babbling about. At last, they got the idea that enemies were in Buckland, some strange invasion from the old forest. And then they lost no more time. Fear, fire, foes. The brandy bucks were blowing the horn call of Buckland that had not been sounded for 100 years, not since the white wolves came in the fell winter when the brandy wine was frozen over. Awake, awake. Far away, answering horns were heard. The alarm was spreading. The black figures fled from the house. One of them let fall a hobbit cloak on the steps as he ran. In the lane, the noise of hoofs broke out, and gathering to a gallop, went hammering away into the darkness. All about Crick Hollow there was a sound of horns blowing, and voices crying and feet running, but the black riders rode like a gale to the north gate. Let the little people blow, Sauron would deal with them later. Meanwhile, they had another errand. They knew now the house was empty, and the ring had gone. They rode down the guards at the gate and vanished from the Shire. We're going to talk about the Nazguls, the Ringwraiths, the 9 kings of men who succumbed to the power of the One Ring. Why? Because these are the people that would do anything for power. The people that take advantage of their titles, of their position. These are the middle managers from hell. These are the ones that are constantly pulling rank, the ones that are constantly taking credit from their own people and hoisting it on themselves. Team succeeded. It was the manager. He's the one that did it. No. Anyone who knows their stuff knows that it's the team. In fact, in Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, the chapter says there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. The leader is there to foster that teamwork, that creativity, that drive. And then the work is up to the team. Now, if the team succeeds, that's on the team. If the team fails, that's on the leader. He didn't do something right. He didn't train enough. He didn't, he wasn't there enough for his people. So the Nazguls, the Ringwraiths, the 9 kings of men who sided with Sauron in Middle Earth. How do we take steps to not be like them? Well, here's an easy one. We can put our egos in check. We can swallow our pride. We can realize that titles don't mean anything, not in the long run. Yeah, you might have more knowledge than your team. You might have a bigger position, a bigger salary than your team, but without your team, you'd be nothing. You would literally be nothing. Now, here's a question. What would happen to your department, to your team, if you took a month off? If you suddenly had to, without any planning, had to take a month off? Would your team stay? Would your team keep producing the results they're producing right now? Would they get worse or would they get better? Are you standing in the way of your team? Is your ego allowing you to answer these questions? It's a hard question. Do you want to give autonomy to your teams, or do you want to hold all the power and take all the credit? I think that's the question that you should be asking yourself. Are you an agent of Mordor? Or are you a member of Rohan? It's a good question. These are all good questions. Which one would you rather be? Nobody wants to be from Mordor. Bunch of freaking orcs and ringwraiths and monsters and those dragon type things and the Witch King of Arnor, although he's pretty cool. But he's like a VP, right? VP of sales or something. Maybe that's the mouth of Sauron. I don't know. Didn't really think this through. But don't be a Nazgul. Don't be that person that will do anything for power or anything for money. Unethical stuff, illegal stuff, stuff that has no place in business. See, the Nazguls came under Sauron because of their lust for power, their lust for fame, their lust for everything. Their lust for credit, their lust for commanding their subordinates. And there's a few Nazguls, a lot of Nazguls, a lot of Ringwraiths around right now in management positions, supervisor positions, team lead positions, all over the globe. And we just need to destroy them. And I mean destroy them.
once men, great kings of men. Then Sauron the Deceiver gave to them 9 rings of power. Blinded by their greed, they took them without question, one by one, falling into darkness. And now they are slaves to his will. They are the Nazgul, Ringwraiths, neither living nor dead. At all times they feel the presence of the ring, drawn to the power of the one. They will never stop hunting you.
So what do you do if you're a Nazgul right now? Is there a way out of it? Have you done enough damage where there's no redemption, where there's no future? Well, it's hard, but yes, you can. You have to build trust with your team first. Can't just waltz in one day and say everything's going to change and then expect miracle results. You have to get buy-in from your team. It's always okay to apologize to your team if you messed up. If you were the Ringwraith, if you were the Nazgul of your department or your team, you can always apologize, always get on the right track, and ask your team for help. Teams love that. People love being asked for help. People like seeing vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a weakness. The inability to show vulnerability is a weakness. You don't want to cry or anything like that because you're an adult, and adults have control over their emotions. But it's okay to admit if you're wrong. It's okay to admit that you are not from Rohan, you are from Mordor, and you'd like to switch ranks. You'd like to switch sides. You'd like to join Gondor in overtaking the forces of Mordor. It's fine. You're not being a turncoat. You're doing what's right. So, start small. Start by having a talk with your team and kick Sauron in the face. Say no to the Ring of Power. Say no to your ego. Say no to your lust for power, for prestige, for all the credit. And recognize that it's your team that deserves the credit. Not you. Not you. So, in closing, what I'd want to say is leadership is hard. Getting over your own ego is hard. Asking for help is hard. Apologizing is hard. Looking directly into the lens of the camera is hard, especially since it's over there and the screen is over here. There's a lot of hard things in life. But it's all worth it. Without those hard things, life would... I don't know. I wouldn't like it. But that's cool. If you like the easy, if you like taking advantage of people, if you like being the Nazgul, being the villain, being not even the villain, like the middle manager of the villain, like you're the one making like the entry level schedules. I don't know. That's cool. You won't advance very far being a Nazgul. You won't. You ever decide to own your own business and you want employees? Being a Nazgul, not going to work. Being Sauron, not going to work. being the Witch King is not going to work. Being Aragon is. Being Faramir is. Being Gimli, Legolas, any of those, Elrond, all going to work. But give credit where credit's due. And basically what I'm saying is don't be a prick, okay? Because pricks don't make it. And if they do, it's not for long. That's it. Finish your coffee, and I'll see you next time on another episode of Coffee with Dave.